Welcome to a fun little discussion video. So first up, I'm going to have pre-sales available for those of you that want Duel Devastator. They're only going to be available for today and a little bit of Thursday. So if you guys are interested, they're going to be 31 shipped in America. PM me on Facebook for details. I don't have a listing up on eBay or anything like that. This is just going to be straight PMs done, and they will ship on Friday officially. So if you're interested in picking these up, all you gotta do is just reach out to me on either my personal Facebook or the MCO40 page, and we'll go from there. Let's dig on into the nitty-gritty of the content that you came here for, shall we? MCO40. Chaos Impact is one of the most underwhelming sets I have actually ever seen in the game, and me and Akano kind of went through and we dug out what we both think are going to be the top 5 cards out of the set, at least at this stage. I know Dream Mirrors and other things are getting their support, but so we're going to start off here with Gorgon, Empress of the Evil Eye. So this is your new Link monster. It's 2 monsters including an Evil Eye to make it. It gains 100 attack for each Evil Eye card in your graveyard with a different name, so at least you'll get some sort of power there. And if this card equipped with the Evil Eye of Selene, quick effect, and target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of this turn. And of course you can only use the effect of Gorgon, the Evil Eye, once per turn. And then once per turn, during your next standby phase after this effect was activated, destroy 1 card that this points to. So it is up, down. You're giving your opponent a zone off of this. My generic complaint about this, though, is this doesn't do a lot to kind of progress your overall plan for Evil Eye. Now, that being said, there are quite a lot of good cards in this. Not really. There's not a lot. But putting Gorgon at number 5, 1, Evil Eye, number 2, based waifu. Like, don't be sleeping on this card for what it is. But in terms of generic support, I put this over like the Dream Mirror support, at least in terms of Evil Eye, because there's just something about this card. Maybe it's the waifu factor that draws me in, but anytime I can get additional disruptions off of Evil Eye, I'm willing to take those, because not only with Selene getting, not only with Surziel getting his pop, also combining it with this, if you can establish both on the field, you're going to be in a relatively good position. Also, you know, being able to destroy something that it points to off of the opponent is quite hilarious. So we take those. Now, number 4 on my list here is actually Marincess Blue Tang herself. So the long-awaited final support for this archetype. So Blue Tang on normal or special summon, get to send a Marincess from your deck to your hand, by the way. That feels good. If this card is sent to the graveyard as material for Link summon of a water monster, you can excavate the top 3 cards of your deck and add 1 excavated Marincess card from your deck to your hand. Shuffle the rest into the deck. And of course you can only use each effect of Blue Tang once per turn. So not only do we get deck thinning advantage here, we get more tutorability off of this, getting us further combo pieces for our thing. Now the biggest thing I see when I look at Marincess, I think the deck will be a solid tier 2. You have to go through the whole process of getting all of the secret rares, the Coral Anemones, you know, all of... See, it's stuff like this. Like, these are affordable. At least, like, the back end of support isn't awful. But our issue runs into at the point of you have to kind of go through picking up all of this additional stuff. And it's going to be much harder. Now, considering we are on the verge of a new possible ban list, the value in Blue Tang and Marincess might actually start to go up. So it is one thing to kind of do pay attention to, especially at the beginning of the release of this set here, and do kind of pay attention to all of this, because one ripple in a ban list could, you know, shift this deck from tier 2 to tier 1.5. And I know that's a little bit of a stretch in the imagination for saying that, but quite honestly, it is very much possible to see a potential burst out of Marincess as a whole as a more competitively viable deck. So buckle up, we'll have to wait and see, honestly, where it's going to place in the meta, but this is, honestly, it's very much worth its place on this list. Now, next up, number 3 is Pyro Phoenix, baby. So, In the words of Akano, the community is split like 70-30 on this card, in favor of 70% of it saying that this card is awful. And I kind of agree with you. So, like, in a dedicated Salamangreat deck, do you really want to dedicate 2 extra deck spots to this? So first up, it's 2+ fire effect monsters to make this. So first up, you're not going to be able to use dangers or anything like that. You're going to have to mash together to make this. So if this card is link summoned using Salamangreat Pyro Phoenix as material, so you have to do not only once through its own self, you have to have another one to get maximum value. You can destroy all cards your opponent controls, and then you can only use each of the following effects of Salamangreat Pyro Phoenix once per turn. So you target 1 link monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your opponent's field. Okay, so I'm giving my opponent back stuff. And if a link monsters special summon to your opponent's field, except during damage step, you can target one of those monsters and inflict damage to your opponent. So, looking at this card, I'm automatically turned off by the commitment for this. I think Heatleo was pretty much a-okay. I mean, granted, like, you can go step into Heatleo, and then you can step into this from the Heatleo. When you look at it that way, that's fine, but it's just like, my maximum value that I want out of this just doesn't seem worth it. Maybe I'm massively underestimating this, but I don't think that the current builds of Solid are going to want to go towards this. I don't also think that they're going to want to dedicate the resource pool to this. And like I said, I've been proven wrong in the past, but it doesn't seem all that worth it to me. I don't know. Let me know in my comments what you guys think, if you agree with me or you disagree on the validity of Pyro Phoenix being a quote-unquote good card. Alright, number 2 on our list is the Gallant Granite. Now, I think that this card is insane. So it's Link 4, coming in at 2318, and it's 2 level 4s to make it. Thank you, by the way, for being such a generically good card. So, you can detach 1 material from this card, then activate 1 of these effects. So you can add 1 rock monster from your deck to your hand, or you can special summon 1 rock monster from your hand in face down defense mode. The first thing I want to say about this card is the searches for Nibiru, the Rocky Boy. Now, you're probably like, well, why do I want to search for Nibiru? Having a backup situation isn't necessarily a terrible thing. Now, granted, you can get to summon a rock monster in face down defense position. That's pretty okay. I mean, granted, you can only do you can only apply 1 of these effects at the turn. But anytime I see a generically good searcher, I've seen the OCG what they're doing with this. I've seen way more searching with Nibiru than we actually should be searching. Now, you got little back-end things that you can do in other similar situations, but I think the main calling for this, generic searchers like this. King of the Fair Limbs is another old one that reminds me of this. Getting the search for the Kage Tokage was really cute, but at the end of the day, like, searching for Nibiru to disrupt the opponent's plans if things go sideways, or if you, like, brick, seems pretty okay to me. Like, please, good luck trying to OTK me with 4 summons. Like, because as soon as that 5th goes off, it's going to be a bad time for you. So, we take what we get. Like I said, I do think that the genericness of the card is really what is carrying that card on its back. And the last card is the IP Mascarene. She is our new Link 2. That is left and down, and it's 2 non-link monsters to make this bad boy, which means tokens are allowed to work on this thing. So during your opponent's main phase, you can quick effect immediately after this effect resolves. Link summon 1 link monster using materials you control, including this card. You can only use the effect of the IP Masquerade once per turn, and a link monster that was used as material cannot be destroyed as material. Or, if you use this thing as material, a monster can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. You want to make Nightmare Unicorn during your opponent's turn? You can now actually do that. I think that's the coolest thing about this card. Generically, every deck, by the way, I'm a stickler for generic cards, by the way. That's why I still think that Boral Sword needs to be banned, because generic cards that every deck can use. sometimes they're a bad thing. But every deck can now go IP Mascarene any monster into Unicorn on a disruption on the opponent's turn. That's pretty spicy. I think a lot of players might underestimate this card, how much this is going to actually change the game, giving every deck a now dependable interruption. It matters. It really quite does. And it's a very interesting place to see what IP is going to do. Because getting one, another generic monster, two, getting something else that can generically link away things, especially during the opponent's turn. Like, this card is actually incredibly good. So guys, what do you think about Chaos Impact really as a whole? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about the set. I'd very much like to read my comment section, hear what you guys are thinking. And, well, catch you guys on the flip side. Until next time, guys, peace out. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a truffle shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out Vanquil40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.